From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. It is Wednesday, the 9th of June, 2021. And guess what? You guys already know what's up. I got the man himself sitting right in the lobby waiting to get on. I can see him foaming at the mouth now. We had a great show in Miami Friday. Too bad my boy couldn't be there with me, but he's here with me today, and that's the one and only. The man, NFL sports agent, top negotiator in the world. I even need to use the guy. My man, Mike Abadir. What's up, Mike? What's going on? How's everything going, brother? Hey, you look great, too.
I love me some Miami, man.
Yeah, I wish you was there with me, especially Saturday night when they refused to let me go up in the club. All my guys are sitting at the table and they doing that, it's a event night stuff. And then he tried to pop the old sunset game on me where, one person gets another price and the other person gets another price. Like, do you know who I am?
Let me tell you something. So for those who don't know, NFL players get what's called an NFL card.
Right.
And that's just basically like an ID, like that big, like a driver's license, an ID card that says that you're an NFL player. It's kind of a secret card.
Right.
Only NFL players have it. Well, probably about 10 years ago, they started giving it to agents because the Players Union, it should actually be called the Players and Agents Union because I'm a part of the NFLPA. And so they started giving us those cards about 10 years ago, maybe even 12 years ago. So anyways, you go to any club and you flash that card and you're straight to the top of the line, roll out the red carpet, come right in. So you could bet that I took full advantage of that, my friend. Full advantage of flashing that NFL card to get in.
Man, I'm telling you. Man, look. And once again, let me introduce the show. I did introduce the show, but this is the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles Live with Mike Abadir today. So we're in Miami. Miami was good. Floyd Mayweather's fight wound up being kind of I would say this. It was a new era was sparked off. Okay. I'm going to have to, I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but you know what? I was with Jake Paul just a little bit. It was a little bit of a delusional what he's saying, but it made a whole lot of sense once you thought about it. When he was saying, "You're about to win, bro. You're about to win. Logan won." You know why he said Logan won? Because Logan survived Floyd Mayweather. Not even Conor McGregor survived Floyd Mayweather. You know what I mean? In these kind of silly fights that with these what they call exhibition fights, but McGregor was a real fight. But the thing with the Asian guy in Japan, that was a novelty thing, and Floyd really wasn't supposed to knock him out like that. The guy just couldn't keep up. But when you got to Logan Paul, you would have thought he would have finished off Logan Paul in 2 rounds. But people had to understand the fight was an exhibition. In most exhibitions, nobody's going to get knocked out. So literally, it's a glorified sparring session. And that's exactly what it was. So people who expected that fight to be a real fight were people that were a bit too overzealous about the situation, more excited about the comeback of Floyd Mayweather. What are your thoughts on the Sunday event, Mike?
I think there is a sense of accomplishment for going the distance.
Right.
Right. I mean, I always compare it to just going back to basics. If you put an amateur, myself or yourself in there, would how long would we last? Over under 10 seconds, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, and you could say that you went the distance with the best boxer in history, then yeah, you've prevailed. You've done something that maybe one or two or three people on the planet can do. It's hard to tell though if Mayweather was going all out, whether he was, at his peak shape, whether he was at his peak strength, etc. But nonetheless, big props to Mr. Paul for surviving and taking it the distance, regardless of whether he got all of Mayweather, his 100% or not. He made it all the way through, Pop, and my hat's off to him.
And Floyd is 44 years old, dog. The best years for Floyd Mayweather were 5 years ago because he's not fully active boxing. He can tell us that he boxes every day, but Floyd's a businessman at the end of the day. You don't have enough time to be in the gym anymore. You can probably be in the gym maybe, I would say you're in the gym at least 2 to 3 times a week. And
I think that's a really good point.
Days as like you used to be, Mike.
You're
in there maybe an hour or two, and then it's off back to doing Floyd Mayweather stuff.
You know what kind of reminds me of? Remember when Jose Canseco was a force in baseball?
Right.
He was the best player in the world for a little bit of time. I know steroids and all that, but I mean, for a while there, he was the best player in baseball. And I remember after he was blackballed out of baseball, they showed him in an independent league, and he was hitting these towering home runs. And people are like, oh, he could, get back to the major leagues again. And I'm like, no, you can hit towering home runs. That's different than hitting major league pitching, though. Once you're independent ball, that's somewhere between college and rookie ball. Independent ball, maybe a little bit above that, maybe between rookie ball and single A. There's a big difference between that and the majors, right? And so I'm going to say similarly, Mayweather is kind of in his independent league stage.
Right.
He's not in the majors. He's not going up against major league competition day in, day out. So yeah, man, it's a different ball game. I think if he had prepared though, I think he's athletic enough and shape enough that if the fight meant something, I think he would have won anyways.
Right. Floyd would have easily won the fight.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. And everybody kept wanting to be so easy for Floyd, but you know what? Life ain't easy, homie.
No, it's going to be tough when there's such a big weight disadvantage.
Right.
That alone is going to make it easy. Is going to not make it easy on Floyd. And that right there is a hand. It's like a weight break for a horse. With the bug boy, it's allowance race, and it's carrying a lot less weight. It's an advantage,
right,
to do that, So, yeah, man. I mean, I think the big question mark is now that it went the distance, is this setting up for the rematch? And if that is the case, then it's pretty obvious how it went the distance, right? Set up for the next payday, baby. That way Floyd can put down another $1 million on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl or something, You
better call me before he does that.
Yeah.
I'm the team for Floyd. You better call me.
I wouldn't recommend.
You better call me. I got a team for him.
Yeah, exactly. Need to go to the primetime handicapper for that stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to get next to him again and be like, hey, look me up, give me a call. Because I'm the TBE. Sports betting, you think you are, Floyd, but you just put up a lot of money. Let's go ahead and get into the NFL as well, too, Mike. And I cannot wait till the NFL starts. See, this is the thing about the NFL. The NFL wins because it's like Christmas Day. It's like waiting for Christmas in sports. We know this, but let's go ahead and talk about Aaron Rodgers first. All right, Aaron Rodgers officially a holdout. Will this relationship be repaired? Mike, your thoughts?
Now, I'm going to be very technical here because it's worth mentioning. So he's technically not a holdout. Right. He's just absent from a mandatory minicamp. And there is a difference because a holdout is going to be holding out for more money.
Right.
This isn't a money issue, right? He's not asking for a new contract or anything like that. He's unhappy with the team. He sees the writing on the wall. What they're asking him to do is to groom the young quarterback that's waiting in the wings and have him basically hand the torch to Aaron Rodgers, have Aaron Rodgers hand the torch, right, to the next man up to start that generation, the next 10, 15 years of Green Bay quarterbacks, right, which is pretty remarkable when you think about it. You know, if you go back to Don Mikowski in 92, I believe, from that point to Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, those have been the quarterbacks covering 30 years now. It's pretty remarkable.
Right.
You know, there's not very many teams that can say that they have that. I sure know that the Dolphins wish that Marino had handed the torch off to somebody. And so the Packers kind of feel like they're in a situation now where, okay, how much of Aaron Rodgers do we have left? A year, 2 years? I mean, you kind of can't expect everybody to be like Brady, where you could just keep going and going and going. Brady is going to be playing into his 44th year of living on this planet. So that's kind of the situation. I think they're ready to usher in the Jordan Love era, man. And Brett Favre, it's as ironic as it is, he's pulling a Brett Favre. Remember what Brett Favre did to Aaron Rodgers? He was like, I ain't grooming him. It's not my job to groom the next guy up. I've got a job to do, and that's to win NFL games. Right. And so I wouldn't at all be surprised if we see, just as it was weird to see Brett Favre in a Vikings jersey or in a Jets jersey, we're going to see Aaron Rodgers in another jersey at some point. He's 37 years old, but he's still got some football left in him, man. We haven't seen much of a decline. So that's kind of the scoop, man. He's holding out. He's not holding out. He's absent. And he's got, by and large, the support of his teammates. I know Devontae Adams came out and said, I'm not anti-management, but I am pro Aaron Rodgers. Right. So that was a pretty clear-cut statement that we've got his back and we get what's going on. So that's my 2-minute take on it.
Look, Mike, this is my idea. I'm going to play, I would like to say devil's advocate, but I'm going to act like I'm Aaron Rodgers right now. You know why I want to leave is because I want my freedom. I've been playing in this little market for the last 10, 12 years. I'm not getting my respect the way that I used to get my respect. And I actually showed that I was capable of replacing Favre. Jordan Love ain't showed us nothing. They put him at third string. And they're willing to say, okay, we're going to move on from Aaron Rodgers and we want him to pass the torch. Nah, buddy, you got to take my spot. That's what you got to do. I'm not handing you anything because I don't think you're good enough. And that's exactly what Aaron Rodgers is saying to Jordan Love, but in a, subliminal type of way. I'm still the captain of this boat. You know what I mean? He gets on his whole Tom Hanks movie. I'm the captain of the ship. You know what I mean? And you ain't replacing me. They're gonna have to move. They're gonna have to remove me. And so if you want to remove me, trade me to where I want to go. If you want this quarterback to be playing for you so bad, then hey, you know what? Send me on down the road. I'm not handing him nothing. I'll never be his backup. And that's exactly what he's saying, Mike. How about that?
You make some good points, man. I mean,
I don't think I'm yelling at you, Mike.
No, I got you, man. I
right now.
It kind of begs the question: are athletes more responsible to themselves and their own legacies, or the team? Now, if you strictly look at it from an employer-employee perspective, then, hey, we're paying you. Your job is to do what we ask you to do.
Right.
Right. But I think this is when Aaron Rodgers is looking out for Aaron Rodgers. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just calling it the way I see it. It's not what Ryan Fitzpatrick. Remember what Fitzpatrick did last year for the Dolphins?
Right.
He started off on fire. He got them into a playoff position. They were in cruise control to get to the playoffs. And simultaneously, they asked him to groom Tua. And then out of the blue, they're like, all right, we're going to put in Tua and sacrifice our playoff chances. We're going to sacrifice this for the benefit of our future. Fitzpatrick gladly stepped aside. He probably didn't like it, but he's like, hey, I'm paid to do what the team tells me, so I got to do it. He wasn't putting Ryan Fitzpatrick first. He put the Miami Dolphins first. We're never going to see that out of Aaron Rodgers. Never. Legacy is too important for him. He wants to be considered amongst the top 3 NFL quarterbacks of all time, if not number 1. Right.
And, the Tua situation reminds me of a lot of the Browns when they had Brian Hoyer starting at quarterback. And they had, this is when Mike Bettine was the coach. And Brian Hoyer's having a hell of a season. They're 8-5 at the Atlanta game. And then all of a sudden, the media, the corpse, when are we going to see Johnny? When are we going to see Johnny? And they throw Johnny Manziel in there, and Johnny Manziel ruins the whole season. They wind up going 8-8, and they had the opportunity to get to the playoffs. Why are we doing a rebuilding moment at this moment in time? What's up with that? You know what I mean? And I understood Tua was a very hyped situation. They wanted Tua badly, but Miami fans had to understand the boy was coming back from a hip injury that's debilitating at the end of your career. In 5-6 years, the hip is going to be bad. It's going to be a bad situation. He didn't have to get a replacement hip like Bo Jackson, but he literally had the same injury, Mike. And that's not a come back in 6 months to 12 months injury. That's you take the first year off, you get comfortable back into the setting of playing football, and then you get yourself back in there into the game. I would have loved if Miami would have said, we're starting them day 1, year 2. That would have been better for the Dolphins, because at the end of the day, Dolphins fans were disappointed because they wanted the playoffs when they looked at everything when it's all said and done. And
you're 100% right, man. I completely agree with you.
Because of that. You know what I mean?
You're 100% right, man. I completely agree with every word that you said there. And by and large, had they done that, they would have been to the playoffs. They had a good enough defense to maybe make a run in the playoffs. The problem, though, is that I think between preseason and the first 9 weeks of the NFL season, they saw some issues with Tua that they didn't like. Now, it's kind of strange. Why would you put him in if you see something you don't like?
Right.
Well, because you got to plan a year ahead for what to do with the quarterback position.
Right.
So I think they were like, let's just see what he's capable of now so we can make a decision for the future. I'm not buying that Tua is the quarterback of the future for the Miami Dolphins. I think if they could unload him, they would. And this is a perfect segue to what's on the screen there, Aaron Rodgers. I think if contractually the Packers could make it work, they've got a trade partner in the Miami Dolphins, because the Dolphins have draft inventory and they have a need. Ship him for Tua straight up with some financial considerations and have Tua and Love battle it out.
Right. And you know why I look at Love in a sense? I say Love is not a starting quarterback in this league when you look at his tape in college. He's a good quarterback. He's a good backup, but I wouldn't call him. I would say you had to develop that player for 3 to 4 years before you make him a starter. Just because he's not, he's a slinger. He's a gunslinger. And today's gunslinger isn't like Brett Favre. They're going to run. They're going to be daring. and then they become liabilities as well too, Mike. You know what I mean? In that sense, because they can get hurt. All right, so let's change up gears a little bit. Let's get into last night, NBA playoffs. Joel Embiid and the crew. Joel Embiid and the boys. Last night, the 76ers win 120-108 to even the series with the Hawks, who's the new pretty girl in class to everybody pretty much until last night, until, you got to get a little exposed, you know what I mean? You got to get touched a little bit, you know what I mean, Mike? So they went ahead and Embiid dropped 40 points last night, went ahead, did his thing, and he looked very MVP worthy. But you know what? I got news last night that my guy, the guy that I had for my MVP for this year, the Joker will be the MVP officially once the season's over, from what I'm hearing here.
Man, the first center to win MVP since Shaquille O'Neal. How about that?
And if Embiid didn't get hurt at the end of the year, it's his trophy to lose right now. You know that, right? Because Embiid might be the most unstoppable player in the league right now. And, he got off last night. He needed 40. And they said, well, they need to get 40 for him to win. That's what he's supposed to do. He's the star player. What do y'all want him to do? Get 10, 20 and say, hey, he was a good team guy last night. Only person that got away with a stat line like that was Bill Russell. In today's NBA, if you're not dropping 40 as the top player on the team, you ain't the top player on the team, okay, buddy? All right, so
exactly.
So what are your thoughts on the game last night, Mike?
Yeah, Embiid had a monster game. Well, props on the other side to Trae Young. He put up some nice numbers too. But Embiid, like in baseball, they do the series MVP, ALCS MVP, that kind of thing. You could go ahead and etch Joel Embiid's name into that trophy right now, because the job he did and the bench for the Sixers are what led to a 12-point victory. And they were really good in the second half when it counted, man. Third and fourth quarter, they were lights out. It's a good series, tied 1-1. Advantage Hawks still, because they got the home field advantage now by splitting on the road. But, man, if Embiid continues to play like this, the Sixers will be unstoppable. They should win out all the way to the finals. It'll set up for a great matchup with the Nets. Let's put it to you that way.
Right. And that's what I feel as well, too, is that the Nets and the Sixers are like, it's inevitable that they're going to meet up. It's almost like how the Spurs and Lakers used to be, but this is a new era, new breed. But the crazy part about it is they're in the same division. So they already played each other 4 times. That's what's going to make it that much sweeter once we get to that portion of it. The Nets are in a little bit of trouble tonight. Harden is out. We'll talk about that in a moment, though. We do have time to talk about that. That game's going to be actually tomorrow, but we'll touch base on it a little bit when we get to the NBA playoff preview. But all in all, though, I like the way that this series is going as well, too, Mike. But I still think that there's a lot of pressure on the 76ers here to win this first game, because a lot of people are jumping on the trade wagon right now, and there's really nothing that nobody can do about it. Once they have their mind set up on a player, then that player is going to be who everybody's rooting for. So, yes, the 76ers are playing the villain here. They are the Joker to the Batman, you know what I mean, in this situation. And literally, pretty much, I know it looks like, you want the Batman to win this one, but nah, this time the Joker actually got more up his sleeve this time around. So, pretty much I think what happens here is that the Hawks the Hawks give it a good fight. They'll probably win one more game in this series, but other than that, 4-2, in my opinion, Mike.
I could go with that.
But if it goes to 7, we know the Sixers will win, but it's going to be draining, because we're looking at a possible sweep right now happening in the series that should have been better. The Nets and the Bucks. But the Bucks look like a deer in the headlights.
Sure do.
They do. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the other game last night. And Mike, I'm mad. You saw the bet last night. We win all three. I gave out 4 bets tonight to my exclusive clients, and we knocked down all 3 pretty easily. And then here comes the Clippers, plus 135 money line. Nothing but value for my people at the end of the night. That's what I'm. Ninth race at Santa Anita. Let's chase the 5-1. Nah, this one, the 5-1 is leading throughout the race, and then he wants to start hanging. And I mean, hanging with the homies. You know what I'm talking about, Mike? Hanging with the homies till he get beat. You know what I mean? Nobody likes a hanger.
Nope.
I've seen it so many times where, man, that was a close race. No, that's the way that horse likes to run.
This is the no hang zone.
Right. No hang zone. Because I seen him hang it more than once. You know what I mean? He didn't do this isn't nothing. This isn't anything new to him. He does this in the morning at practice too. So so that's who the Clippers are. They're a hanger. They've been like this the last 10 years since they became a good team. They're a hanger. They love to hang around in series. They love to hang around in games. And whoever gets it at the end is going to get it at the end, right? And last night it was the Jazz. And so Clippers, I'm mad at you because I knew better than that.
Man, I always felt if they couldn't get to the finals at least with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Jamal Crawford, JJ Redick, so on and so forth, then they weren't going to get there with anybody.
Right.
Just ain't going to happen.
Right.
I don't care. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, don't matter.
Right. Bomber.
With that said, I still think that they can win this series.
Right. I do too. I truly do see the Clippers need adversity. The Clippers need to be throw them away. Because that's what we did in the first round. I was like, yeah, Mavs are going to win the series. No problem. But they didn't. Why? Because Kawhi Leonard is a guy that is different. When they call him a Terminator, there is some factuals to that. You know what I mean? No facial expression, no nothing, no none of that. And he just go out there and is a machine. And that's exactly what he did in game 6 and 7. And he's the best player on the court on both sides of the ball. So at the end of the day, this is a tough series for the Jazz. This is no walk in the park for the number 1 seeded team in the West and the number 1 record in the NBA this year, because they have a player that is their best player that wasn't around the last few weeks, 6 to 7 weeks of the season, and is still now getting into his rhythm as well too. This is merely just they're winning games merely because you got guys like Mike Conley who've been here, done that before, and then you got other guys that are just really great role players, i.e. Jordan Clarkson, former Laker, who's absolutely killing it right now. Shout out to Jordan as well too. But at the end of the day, this is probably the best matchup in the playoffs right now, Mike, because it's an even shot. It truly is. The West has 2 really good matchups at the end of the day. And what makes this a fun playoff is 5 of the teams in the playoffs left still have never been to the finals, Mike. Not one time. I mean, not been to the finals, but they don't have any championships. Clippers haven't been to the finals before. Suns, that was last time they were there, Barkley era. And then they went in the young era of the Suns as well too in the early 70s. But then when you start looking down at a group and it's like, dude, this team, you got teams, the whole West really is, these are the runner-ups, you know what I mean? The guys that are always in the background. And 2 of these teams were really bad were really bad in this era as well too. You know what I mean? When it comes to specifically the Suns, you know what I mean? So it's great to see the Suns doing so well and everything like that, but they are in for a tough. They're in for a tough series, dude. But we'll touch on that in a moment because that is the game tonight as well, too. But final thoughts on the Clippers Jazz before we go to our first break, Mike.
I think you kind of nailed it in terms of how competitive this series is. I see this one going the distance. I just don't see the Jazz getting into the conference finals, man. Definitely not the NBA finals. But, they're a good team. They're fun to watch. Donovan Mitchell is a force to be reckoned with. But I think there's just too much talent on the Clippers, top end talent, for them to not advance in this series and go up against, I'm predicting, the Phoenix Suns.
All right. Well, Mike, I guess I'm on the other side of things with that one. Because I love me some Denver Nuggets. They was always my second team in the West this year when I was looking at teams. And I thought that probably was going to be an early exit without Murray. But then I had to tell myself, no, it'd be an early exit if you don't have Jokic. Because Murray is like Kobe. They're like a modern day. I'm not going to say, I shouldn't say it because this is on, like, I might get kicked out of Laker Nation saying this. But for this NBA, they're a modern day Kobe and Shaq. In a sense, you got Murray who does the Kobe stuff, and then you got Jokic who does the Shaq stuff, but adding a little bit of Magic Johnson to it as well too, and adding a little bit of Larry Bird as well too. Because they say Luka plays like Larry Legend. I said no, the guy who moves and plays like Larry Legend is Jokic, but 4 inches taller. You know what I mean? That guy who's gonna go out there and you're gonna say he ain't gonna do nothing to me today. And he goes and smokes your butt 13 to zip at 24-hour fitness and smoking a cigarette outside after the game. Talk about I got to pick up my kids at 5.
Exactly.
You know, if you talk about, can you get in another game? Now I got to go pick my kids up and stuff, man. I just want to get a quick run in. When are you going to be back? I don't know. Maybe sometime next week.
To be determined.
To be determined. All right, so with that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Angles. But first, let's go ahead and look at Hat Club. And with the hatclub.com, you guys can go ahead and get yourself situated with hatclub.com and get you guys a 10% discount on any $50 order or better. That is going to be the hatclub.com. So check them out, hatclub.com. Get that drip. Father's Day is very near, so make sure you get your dad that tight in that great cap, but you got to spend over 50 so you can get that 10% discount. So with that, we will be right back, and you guys stay tuned to the Premier Sports Betting Show.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners, and I'll have another in Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
Tune into Big Wave Boxing every week with a brand new guest with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Capper, getting the best boxing stories, best boxing angles, and the truth when it all comes down to the sweet science. Tune in to Big Wave Boxing on the Prime Wave Media channel on YouTube.
All right.
Hey, Pop.
What's going on?
When is it too early to be able to say what you're not supposed to say when a pitcher hasn't given up any hits? Because the Giants right now are no-hitting the Texas Rangers in the 5th inning.
Oh, no. And this is a brand new guy, Mike. They just called him up.
Here's the thing. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was by design, but Littell pitched 1 inning, and then they brought in a reliever, Long.
Wow.
Who's punched out 7 in 3 innings. So between the two of them, they have yet to yield a hit.
Man, Giants, isn't that going to be the second no-hitter for them this year? No, but they just been pitching really good.
Yeah.
And disregard the score for everybody. Again, the score was 5-3 yesterday, but, it is what it is, man. So pretty much at the end of the day, the Dodgers, they're in a bat around situation. Bat around. Yeah, bat around. Playing against the Pirates, one of the worst team, if not the worst team in baseball. But you know what? The Pirates got a lot of heart. You know what I mean? They run with a lot of heart, man. That's one thing I can say about them is that they're a team with a lot of heart, and they're going to try, but they just don't have the talent right now. They don't. They're running with a lot of no names, but that's okay because a lot of those guys were in their farm system and they were top players. So if they can get the right management, they'll be good eventually. You know what I mean? But they don't have anybody they can just be like, man, that guy's a stud. You know what I mean? It's tough right now.
Well, I think Brian Hayes has a chance. Good old Charlie Hayes' son. He just needs to learn how to run the base paths. Did you see that, Pop?
Yeah.
He hit a home run yesterday and missed first base.
I'm telling you, this team is major league in real life right now. Willie May, I'm waiting for him to pop out of Willie Mays Hayes real quick on us.
I mean, wouldn't that suck? You think you got the best stat you can get, a home run.
Right.
And then you get to the dugout, the Dodgers appeal, and you're called out.
Man. And his father, biggest moment of his career, catching the ball, 96 when the Yankees won. But he was a hell of a player in Colorado. He was good. Yeah. Charlie Hayes was good, but he was kind of a throw-in at that time with the Yankees. And the Yankees weren't an all-star bunch that year either. They had young players. Derek Jeter was a young player still. And then you you brought in Pettit, who was young still. And then Mariano was still green. John Wetland was the closer that year. Mariano was the setup man, from what I remember, because John Wetland was the prized closer in all of baseball. But John Wetland was a good starter as well, too, coming off of a significant injury. So, that's one of our – see, the MLB had so many great players that players get forgotten, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's we talked about Dean Palmer the other day when I was in Dallas at the Rangers game. I was like, a lot of people got to remember Dean Palmer was like the cleanest guy in the room. He's like, no, he wasn't. Nobody was clean on that team. All right. But you know what? I digress. We were supposed to be talking about the Dodgers, but the Dodgers got Tony Gosselin going on the mound tonight, and he's going against Tyler Anderson. This might be one of the better pitchers for the Pirates here. And Tony Gosselin is a guy that is an iffy pitcher, in my opinion. I think that he can dominate really bad teams, but he might struggle against the better teams in the MLB. But this is a good spot for him. We know why Dave's putting him out here to see what he has for the season and see if he's going to be the fifth starter until we get the actual fifth starter back or when they trade for the fifth starter, because there's a lot of bad teams in the MLB right now with some good pitching, Mike. I'm telling you, John Means threw a no-hitter. That's something that the Dodgers could be looking at down the road because they can make an easy deal with they can always make an easy deal with the Orioles. They always can. They've been dealing with the Orioles for the last 3 years during the summer and got exactly what they wanted. They wanted to get a setup man. They got a setup man. They wanted to get Manny Machado. They got Manny Machado. So they kind of had their way with this Baltimore team. But all in all, Dodgers play tonight. It should be a good game. And just real quick, what are your thoughts on this series? This
is a series that the Dodgers ought to win. I don't think that's like a big surprise statement. I mean, the Dodgers are in a situation where they're looking up at two teams. I don't think anybody expected that. Right? If you remember, I said they're so good that they're kind of boring before the season started. But the Giants are playing out of their minds. The Padres are playing as good as they're living up to expectations. So the Dodgers have to sweep series like this if they want to get to the top of the standings. Simply put.
Right.
Otherwise, we're going to be looking at the All-Star break with two teams ahead of them.
Yep. And you know what? They're okay, in my opinion. I think that they can catch the Giants. The Giants and them are kind of attached at the hip, but San Diego is the team that they're going to really have to they're going to have to go ahead and like we could do in horse racing. They're going to have to measure them, because if we're on the turf, they're about 5 lengths ahead right now, and you're sitting over there hanging with the Giants.
And the Giants have pitched another inning of no-hit ball.
Okay.
They're going to be going into the 6th inning.
I'm only saying this because I got to put it out there. I got the Rangers on the spread today because Kyle Gibson was 4-0 going to the game.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Well, hey, man, you got 4 more innings.
I'm all right. But when they no hit, no, it's different. All right, let's go ahead and get into the games. Up first, we have the Mets and the Orioles. The Mets coming into this one minus 150, Mike. Orioles plus 130 on the spread tonight. I do like the way things are setting up in this game. I would say that the pitching matchup is in favor of the Mets lightweight, but Matt Harvey might have some say here. This is a team that threw him away, Mike. What are your thoughts?
First off, it's worth mentioning every over-under that we gave out last week was a winner. I think this is another one of those that goes over. The line, I believe, is 9, as it says on the screen. I think there's a lot of value there. If you could get 9, take the over. I think Matt Harvey he's not Batman or whatever they used to call him. That ain't him anymore. I mean, the guy has had enough starts since then to prove himself. And his ERA is high 6s. So he's going to give up a bunch of runs, even though he's trying to impress his old team. Taijuan Walker is really good. They'll get 5 or 6 innings out of him, and then the floodgates are going to open wide. This over-under will easily be hit. Go over 9 runs.
And you know what? We don't even have to go that far. I concur with that, Mike. I can care. All right, let's move on to our next game. Because I'm on that with you too, Mike. I've just scoreboard watching and we good. That's all I can say. Because neither team can really be trusted when you talk about winning and losing. So we got the Mariners, the fun bunch, going against the Tigers. Mariners lost yesterday 5-3. And a pretty good pitching game yesterday as well, too. I think today, though, the Mariners get right, though, Mike. That's what I'm looking at today. And I think the Mariners actually win this game. I got them at plus 105 very early, actually late last night. They're now at plus 110. What are your thoughts?
I think this is kind of one of those no-touch games. I think the Mariners are a much better team than the Tigers. But the Mariners, unfortunately, had to send back down their stud prospect. You know, he just wasn't having any success in the majors, so they sent him down. And it's indicative of the Seattle Mariners overall, Pop. The team is batting 208 as a ball club. 208. I don't remember ever a team as a team hitting in the low 200s 60 games into the season. It just doesn't happen, man. So to me, this is a no touch.
Well, I'm with you, Mike. But they're both lousy. So I'm gonna go with the lousy road team today. Because the good home team won last night. So I'll do it the lousy road team today. But they did give me the under last night. I'm very thankful for that. Thank you, guys. All right, so we move on to our next game. Washington, the Nats, the Natties versus the Rays, a.k.a. Rodney Dangerfield. I get no respect. I played the Dodgers. I beat the Yankees. I beat the Astros, and you still don't show me any respect. You know, at the end of the day, the Rays are the most disrespected, top tier team in the MLB. Mike, am I lying? There's no love for them
in all of sports,
right? Because they might have the hardest working team in all of baseball. Lots of teams are naturally have natural talent to it, like the Dodgers, Bellinger, Seager, Urias, Clayton Kershaw, the great Albert.
I think we lost Pop there. Pop, you there? All right, well, I'll continue handicapping this game. The Nationals are a poor road team. They're, I believe, let's see here, six games under 500 on the road. The Rays are the superior team here. Nationals need to get a streak going, but I don't think this is the time that they're going to be able to do it. They got Patrick Corbin on the hill, and he is nothing like how he was with the Diamondbacks. Corbin's been terrible. He's not been a good investment for the Nationals. He's one of many reasons why the Nationals are 9 games under 500 and right now not playing like a playoff contender. The Rays, on the other hand, they're in the best division in baseball and they lead it. I mean, look how many teams are good in the AL East. Look at how many teams are above 500. The Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Rays, all over 500. And yet, probably the least hyped, least talented team, the Tampa Rays, sit atop. So, and it's not fluky. They have the best run differential. They've won 7 out of their last 10. They've won 3 in a row. After tonight, it'll be 4 in a row. Rays are the play here at minus 160. So I still can't hear Pop. I don't know if the audience can. Perhaps we can move on to the next graphic and talk about that one. Yankees Twins. 2 teams that have not lived up to expectations. Twins have been an absolute disaster this year. They are supposed to compete for the AL Central title, but we've been waiting on them and waiting and waiting and waiting. Yet they're last. They're last in their division. The Detroit Tigers are ahead of the Minnesota Twins. The Kansas City Royals are ahead of the Twins. How's that possible? Their run differential is minus 39 on the season. And there's kind of no sign at all of a turnaround. Yankees, they're kind of in a similar situation in terms of underachieving, but at least they are kind of within reach of a playoff spot and within reach for the division. I just don't think that they got the pitching to do it. I guess the final say on this one is Garrett Cole's on the bump. He's the only A-plus pitcher on the Yankees. And Randy Dobnak on the Twins. He's been terrible. He's got 1 win His ERA's in the mid sixes. I'll go with Garrett Cole any day of the week. Let's take the Yankees at minus 190 on the win.
And I'm going to take him on the spread, Mike. You guys can hear me, right?
Yep. Now we can hear you. Welcome back, my friend.
Right, because you blacked out, then I blacked out, and at least Zion was still there. Oh yeah, Mike, that's our new graphics guy as well too.
Hey, what's up, my man?
We'll be transitioning to young Zion, the Kobe Bryant, the Kevin Garnett of the digital world.
So Amani's not with us anymore.
He's doing this week's graphics, but we'll be transitioning to Zion by next week. But he's he's running the show banners for us right now.
Well, welcome, Zion.
He's the man.
He is the man. So what is the run line spread? Is that minus 125 on the 1.5?
At this guy, let me add the other Jamil right here.
Ooh, that's kind of a cool little echo there.
I know. Let me just get all the way out of this. Because I was on my cell phone, because I can still do it on my cell phone too. So, all right. So we're here. This isn't our last game. Let's get to the next game. All right. Indians, Cardinals. Traditional. What do you like? Mike, what are you thinking here? Interleague. Central.
This has over written all over it.
You think
8.5? Go over.
Go over.
This will go over. Mark my words.
All right.
Play of the day. On the bump, the Indians, excuse me, something in my throat there, have Mejia, an unheard of pitcher. And the Cardinals, on the flip side, have Adam Wainwright, who's solid. He's given them some good innings, but he gives up some runs. I see both teams scoring here in bunches. And on the win end, I would probably side with the Cards, but that's a very slight lean because they've lost 6 in a row. And typically, winning streaks keep going, losing streaks keep going. I don't like betting against those kind of streaks typically, but I think here Wainwright is going to be their stopper of sorts. And even though he's going to give up some runs, I think the Cardinals break their losing streak here.
Well, they have to. You know, you got to stay pace with the Joneses of the world, the Brewers and Cubbies of the world. So, you know, you got to stay pace. But Mike, when you was clearing your throat right now, I started thinking of the guy. I know you've seen that viral video of the news reporter where he's telling news all formal, and then he's like, "You got me in this country ass down." When the fly throws it would have been real funny if you would have pulled one of those. I'm in this pretty ass. I'm over here in West LA. Damn ocean weather. Well, yeah, all in all, though, I like the under here, but Mike, you got a good point because these are two pitchers that pitch to contact. Most likely, it will wind up. Since I like the under, it will most likely go over. It's an interleague game. I don't ever get these ones right. I try, but you know what you got. But I have my issues with interleague games because you'll have an interleague situation where you'll have the worst team in baseball going against the best team in baseball, interleague style, and the worst team in baseball looks like the best team in baseball, while the worst team in baseball looks like the worst. But like the best team in baseball looks like the worst team in baseball. So you know what I mean?
That was like a tongue twister, man.
I know. Too many words at once. All right. Let's go ahead and get a commercial break in real quick, Mike, because we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs, and then we're going to be talking tickets for tonight as well, too, Mike. I got a juicy 40-1 ticket for us as well. So why don't we go ahead and check out our buddies over here at Paramount Plus. You guys get yourself put in a VSX promo code, and you guys will receive a good little discount, and you guys can watch all the good Paramount content that they have on there. So check them on out, Paramount Plus. And they moving on up, Mike. They actually can watch the replay of the NCAA tournament as well too. And I heard that you'll be able to watch replays every Monday of your favorite NFL team, no interruptions as well. From what I'm hearing.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love it. So get your Paramount Plus on your TV apps, on your SmartCast, whatever you got. All right. So with that, we will be right back with the premier sports betting show, the Primetime Makers Live, with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa, and the man himself, Mike Abadir.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash, and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
And real quick, Horsing Around will be back this weekend. I'm very sorry to everybody. Horsing Around has kind of been off the last week. It's been hit or miss for it, but I'll be back this weekend for some Horsing Around at Santa Anita. I'm going to be there Saturday afternoon as well too, to get in some, some people go to therapists and things of that nature, Mike, but I go to Santa Anita when I need to go ahead and loosen up a little bit, you know what I mean? And have a good time. You get at those San Gabriel Mountains and how clear the sky, that artistic type of picture that you see there, and sit there and really reflect on the world today. You know what I mean? And see great athletes cross that finish line and see the excitement of the fans, all that good stuff. Very therapeutic over at Santa Anita, man. That's all I can.
Beautiful setting, man.
Yeah,
one of the nicest racetracks on the planet.
Yes, I can't. And you know what? I'm looking very forward to Delmar. I think I'm gonna be there opening day, to be honest with you. I like Delmar. I've been betting Delmar for years, but I haven't had the opportunity to go there, Mike. And people
never
been to Delmar, and I'm like,
never.
Yeah.
Oh man,
what you got? So,
how many years have you been a race fan?
I would say since I was about 2 years old, but I just when. My dad's a horseman himself, and when he would go to like Delmar, that was the one who was like, well, he'll take me to Santa Anita with him, but Delmar is a different breed, you know what I mean? And I think I kind of got it that, this is the adults racetrack. You know what I mean? This is more their racetrack. Because I was at Hollywood Park too, Friday night, come get your dollar hot dog, dollar hot dog and beer. I can't hear you.
What role does your father play?
What?
You said your dad's a horseman. Do you mean like he's in the industry or just a fan?
He was in the industry, and he still has inside stuff. You have to understand, John Valpredo was our neighbor for a good 5, 6, 7 years at the end of his run at Santa Anita. And John is a guy, and Don Valpredo is a big exec at Santa Anita now. That's his son. But John was our neighbor for a while, but my dad was already involved in all that stuff before. And it's just that when he got with John, he got kind of more into the business and everything like that as well, too. So, he went with John literally like everywhere because John was our neighbor and kind of needed us to, kind of help him out a little bit, because I'm not going to get too deep into it. But, when you get old, and you got 2 houses, one in Pasadena and one way up in damn nearby Central California, so you got to have people take care of you, you know what I mean? And so pretty much we had John at the end. You know what I mean? And John still was very knowledgeable all the way till the end as well too. You know what I mean? And he taught me a lot about horse racing as well too. But my father is the one that taught me the most about it, and he's the one that I used to always bug when I was a little kid at the playground and stuff like that. Like, hey, Pop, can you make a bet for me on burgers and fries, or the Big Bear Mountain, or some stupid name horse? You know what I mean? Because at that point it was about the names of the horses. I didn't know about no damn odds or anything. And then I really, really fell in love with the game when there was a horse by the name of Best Pal, and I used to watch him literally every other Saturday destroy Santa Anita, destroy Delmar, destroy Hollywood Park. And he was a damn good gelding, and everybody knows Best Pal's story. His heart exploded when he was 5, just walking around the farm. You know what I mean? And so pretty much he was a gelding. They named a race after him. He's the first Pacific Classic winner as well too, ridden by a guy who should be a Hall of Famer, but they're probably going to keep him out for another decade, or they'll wait till he passes away, Pat Valenzuela. You know what I mean? So, you know, pretty much, and P-Val is like everybody's favorite, but P-Val is like a Dennis Rodman to horse racing. You know what I mean? Like he's a guy who did what he wanted. So it's going to be tough to put him in the Hall of Fame like right away, because, you know, there's a lot of red tape around him as well, but he's another great jockey, great person as well too. And the classier you are, the more they like you. But if you're a rebel, the people that love you are those guys in the what we call at Santa Anita the dungeon. You know, Mike. Those are the people that love you because you're the guy that rides the 30-1 for him and gets him the money. You know what I mean? Kid that's almost
like Modesto Linares.
Yeah. Why are you bringing up Modesto? Modesto was riding for one person and one person only. And the horse better be terrible.
Yeah, exactly. So on topic, what racetracks have you ever been to, Pop, in person?
I've been to Hollywood Park. I've been to Santa Anita. Trying to think.
Los Al?
Yeah, I've been to Los Al before. I've been to all the California. I've been to all the SoCal tracks. The only one I missed out on was Del Mar. That's it.
Yeah,
you know,
I've been to all of them.
Here, be like, yeah, I've been to Del Mar. I would not know where I'm walking to, but I've seen it plenty of times. I heard great stories about it and everything like that.
Oh yeah,
and I gathered across Golden Gate before, and never got to make it to Bay Meadows, but I would have loved to.
Yeah, I made it to Bay Meadows, Santa Rosa, Pleasanton, Stockton, Cal Expo. I think I've been to every single racetrack in California except for Vallejo, which they've ceased to run there.
Anyways, track, he said you didn't miss anything, Mike.
Oh, actually, one more. Yeah, no kidding. One more that I have not been to, Ferndale.
I don't think you missed anything there either.
I've never gone that far north.
Hey, but you know what, Mike? I think one of these days we need to hit Emerald Downs. That's a beautiful racetrack. I've seen my buddy take a lot of pictures of it. I thought it was going to be a rinky-dinky, raggedy track. No, it is a nice, pristine racetrack, to be honest with you.
You know what else is nice is Turf Paradise.
Yeah,
I've been to Turf Paradise. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Turf Paradise. That Turf Paradise is one of the better racetracks that you can go to. But, you know, pretty much after the things go away after a while, they kind of put them in the B group. But I always look at Turf Paradise to say, if they could get better purses here, this could be a strong racetrack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they got a turf course that can run in the winter.
Right.
That should be appealing to everybody.
Right. And the biggest problem with Arizona is, though, Arizona's trying to be more into the pari-mutuel world, and they do get kind of blacked out in a sense. Like, Arizona Downs, I don't think you can bet that at Santa Anita. You know what I mean? Because Arizona Downs, it doesn't sound like they're coming back this year, but they'll probably be back next year. But
they're back.
They're
running
back
right now.
Okay, because Arizona Downs was supposed to be the new pristine track that's going to be able to attract more California horses, more big-time California trainers and owners as well, too, because it could be the option from Del Mar or something of that nature. You know what I mean? But I would say this, that you just, when you split up horses and things like that, you're going to probably get you're going to get a lot of horses in Arizona that have good pedigree to them, but their best days are behind them. But they give you a good value there as well, too. But there's a lot of good situations you can run into at the Arizona tracks. Turf Paradise has been my good friend for a lot of years on Mondays and Tuesdays, to be honest.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Hey, Pop, I got to step away for a brief moment because my computer's going to die. My laptop's going to die. I need to get it plugged in. So take the helm for a few moments, my man.
Okay, because I'm trying to get you on this Talking Tickets. So, go ahead. I talk about the playoffs a little bit, and you come on back.
There you go.
All right, so Nuggets Suns tonight. This is going to be a good game. Very, very good game. And I think that all in all, what we do here is that we say take the over, but the over is actually going to be 223 tonight. But I'm about to be a big game hunter tonight, and I don't usually do this, but today I'm feeling a little generous for you guys. My exclusive client premium tonight is going to be the plus 190 on the Nuggets to win the game outright tonight. So for all you guys that need a bet tonight, I'm going with the Nuggets plus 190. As we say in the playoffs, we big game hunting right here, but why not? They just confirmed that Jokic is going to be the MVP. He should be all the way in on this game tonight, and I think that is going to be huge tonight. So I really do like the Nuggets coming into this one, and I think that this will work out very, 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 very well. So we'll see how it shakes out. But all in all, though, the Suns had a great effort the other night. They looked really good. Everybody would like to see Mr. Paul get himself to the championship one time. And you know what? If they're able to get past Denver, I think that it's a strong possibility that they do get to the finals with Chris Paul. And, Chris Paul will be a free agent in the summer as well, too. So he might be the hottest commodity on the market if he makes that happen for his team as well, too. So, all in all, pretty much that's what we have there. All right, so let's go ahead, and I think Mike is out for the moment, I think, but we only have about one subject left, so I don't know if he'll be right back. So let's go ahead and jump into the primetime pick six. And in the primetime pick six, we have ourselves a great one here. Primetime pick six is going to be a lot of good teams. We got the over 9 with the Mets and the O's tonight. Then we have the Mariners money line plus 105. We also have the Nats tonight plus 1.5. Then we also have the Yanks tonight with the minus 1.5 Yankees. And then we have an under 8 with the Indians and the Cards. And then we have the Angels money line minus 130. All right, so we lost Mike, but thanks. I wanted to go ahead and thank Mike for coming in today and everything like that. His computer died, so he'll be back next week. And pretty much, Mike, thank you so much for stepping in today, brother. I'll be talking to you soon. So there it is. Pretty much, YouWager, where the world bets at. You guys can go ahead and get yourself situated today. You guys get yourself involved with that. You guys can get yourself a 50% match deposit, and you guys with any, like, say $200 deposit, you guys can get $100 free play from that, and you guys can go ahead and have yourself. Oh, here comes Mike. We got Mike in the house again. All right, Mike, we got you back. Real quick, what are your thoughts on the primetime pick six? I had already sent my salute. I don't know what to say, but I already sung your swan song, brother.
I like it.
I was wrapping up, but what do you think of this primetime pick six?
This looks like a winning ticket. What are we getting? 40-1?
40-1, brother. And
I like it.
We got the Mariners and the Angels in this.
Throw on $10 on top of that for me.
I got you. So Mike wants to make 400. See, I don't give people play around ticket. I don't give people the tickets that they feel comfortable with. I'll give you the ticket that you can pay your rent with, Mike.
There you go.
That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And you gotta get people those rent check tickets. You know what I mean? I love what Sarge used to say. He said, okay, it's the end of when our good buddy Nick Hines used to host TVG, a lot of the TVG stuff. You know, I wouldn't say the boring tracks, but he makes those tracks very exciting. But you know, they used to do Gino like that too as well. So you had to make those tracks exciting for yourself. So he would get in there and be like, "This is going to be the track that we're going to go ahead and pay the rent with." The pick 4. Let's see if we can pay the rent with this pick 4 right here. So you know,
yeah, and, you know, let me give the viewers, maybe they already know this, but it might be a strategy worth mentioning. The Angels are the late game,
right?
So it might be a situation where you either have hit already all the other plays, or they're looking good in the 8th or 9th inning.
Right.
So use that to your advantage, right? There might be a hedge window where you hit everything, right? Because that's Angels money line, right? If I'm alive and everything and and I need to protect my 40-1, why not put a couple $100 on the Royals plus 1.5 and try to hit both of them? So that's my tip of the day when the card allows you to do that because of the way the start times are set up.
I like it. I really, really like it because you know that late game is always the one. It's either the gift or the curse.
There is nothing worse than to be alive in a pick 6 and lose in the last leg.
Yes.
Nothing worse than being alive for a 6 or 7 team parlay and then the last team fails you. So this is a way to prevent that.
And for all my clients who played the parlay last night, the Clippers did you like that last night. Tonight, the Angels better make up for that. Or I ain't taking no more SoCal teams on my tickets. Tell you.
Exactly right, my man.
Right. So, Mike, any final shout out?
Hey, man. We're inching towards Del Mar. I think the goal now is to get Pop DiBiase to that racetrack.
Yeah,
that's the goal.
Opening day. I'll be
Opening
there.
Day.
With my blazer on. Ready.
There you go, my man.
You know, Brittany Erden, I'm coming for you. Just kidding. Now I know Brittany. She's a sweet girl. She's cool. It's not even like that. But she. Let me tell you a funny story with her. She was in a dungeon, and she's like, "Man, my feet hurt." I said, "Princess, what are you doing in the dungeon?" And she said, "Oh yeah, I'm kind of in different territory, huh? This is where the real betting goes on at, huh?" And I said, "Yeah, this is where TVG's not gonna let you do an interview at. You know what I mean? Because they can't have you interviewing this old drunk over here talking about, you know, I'm catching the bus here at 5:30, so you need to stop talking to me right now because I got a race up here at Gulf Street." You couldn't even interview these people. You can only interview the people that are handing out the tickets.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, man. I love the dungeon. And this is my message to Miss Shinerich. Open back up the dungeon, woman. Open it up now. Open the dungeon. You need your $2 betters. Everybody can't afford a turkey sandwich from up top. They need that $2 hot dog from Rosie, sister girl, as I went down in the dungeon. I need that and that hot soup for Los Alamitos. Actually, the hot soup, you know about the hot soup at Santa Anita. Los Alamitos for Friday nights. The chili, the $5 chili cup.
What I will tell you is, if you got the dough, if you got the money, the food at Vessels Club at La Salle, A1, phenomenal. La Salle,
so Mike Joyce said that
Vessels Club,
Abadir.
it is superb.
And if you work,
get out and support
there,
La Salle.
Yeah, get out. Yeah, La Salle needs y'all too because they got Vessels Club, and then if you get broke at the end of the night, they got Del Taco down the street.
Hope not.
The 46 tacos, Del Taco.
Hope not.
You know,
Mike.
you know how it works. You know how it works, Mike. You know, if we doing good, we eating in the turf club. If we doing bad, then I guess we're gonna have to go to McDonald's over on Huntington.
If you've got $10 left, do you save that for food or that late super high five or that late superfecta? Where's the $10 gonna go? I'm going for the superfecta, man. I'm going for the superfecta.
I'm going for the superfecta because you can cook at home. You got food at home, damn it.
Exactly.
Oh, you're just spending money just to spend money. All right. So, Mike, always a pleasure, brother. Hold the line for me once I wrap up the show and everything like that. Just got to ask you a quick question. But all in all, though, man, it's been an absolute blast. Mike, will you be back next Wednesday with us? Even though I'm going to be flying out, I'm still going to have time to do the show maybe a little bit later in the afternoon, maybe about 1. But I'll be in Houston next week on Wednesday. So you can come in Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Just make your choice. You know what I mean? You already know it. So we'll work it out, and we'll go from there. But it's always a pleasure having my guy Mike Abadir on. You guys make sure to catch Mike's show tomorrow at 4 p.m. Western Civilized Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Civilized Time. He's going to be with the man Gino B. And they will be, I don't know what the topics are going to be, but it's going to be scintillating. They had our good buddy Ken Lamas on there last week talking crypto. So we don't know who might be on there. They might have Elon Musk coming back around asking why was he in the clown suit. You know what I mean? And when's my damn Tesla coming? The topic of the show when Elon Musk comes on the Mike show. Both of those. That'd topics. Be nice. You guys make Tesla's sure for everybody. Tesla's for everybody. Mike is going to Oprah that thing. You get a Tesla. You get a Tesla. You get a Tesla. But you guys make sure to check that out. Awesome show. I love being on it whenever I'm called to the whenever I'm called off the bench. You know, Mike, I'm there for you. So you guys make sure to check his show out tomorrow. And I'll be back tomorrow at noon to 1 o'clock for you guys as well, too. So you guys already know what time it is. Bet with your head, not with your heart. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show. The Primetime Angles live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the Primetime Kappa. And I'm signing out with my main man, Mike Abadir. And I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.